I got it right
Copy.
here.
Right. Alrighty, we are going live in three, two. No, we are live. Call 265. We are live. I'm gonna keep the chat up, YouTube chat up. Mm. So that we don't miss nothing. Get my audio going. Look at that from dollar
Mhm.
spiked bullish following the news. What news, you might ask? Well, let's take a look.
That is an
We got,
interesting question. Let's see.
let me get by this ad because I don't have YouTube Premium. It's $10 through Verizon. I just haven't got it yet. All right, so what do we have here? We have a positive number in the durable goods orders month over month. Uh, what is the durable goods orders folder, you might ask? New orders placed with producers for the supply of durable items that are expected to last at least 3 years. So this is just going to fall under manufacturing sector, which is going to contribute to growth domestic product, right? Just kind of how I'm piecing that together. But that was significantly better than the consensus, right? Which is why, at least I think in this moment, we are seeing some bullish movement from the dollar, but all of these folders supporting that.
Mhm.
GDP price index that remained unchanged from its consensus. So what I'm starting to view these consensus as, the closer it is to it, the better the better the more stable the Fed's outlook will remain. The more skewed those numbers are, that's when the Fed is engaged with that information. Um, and so these forecasts and these actuals, they look good so far. Real consumer spending was slightly below. But this isn't super significant. In my opinion, it may be different, but we we would have saw that it was super significant if we would have got sellers movement, bearish movement off that initial news. Corporate profits quarter over quarter. Profits earned by corporations are defined as the proportion of total income gained from the current output that is accounted for by corporations in the United States. So,
Mhm.
what is this just talking about? Income generated output, versus output. Let's see, total income gained from the current output. Okay, so just corporate profits. That went up a little bit. Um, I'm looking at, I feel like that just supports the stock market. Stock market would support US investments, which would support the dollar, in my opinion, how I'm looking at that. Let's see, unemployment claims, jobless claims, 4 week average, that was a little better. Yeah, and then all these were pretty close. So labor market still looking rather, what's the term I heard Fed Powell use? I think he said it was rather cooled.
Mhm.
But yeah, that sums up 5:30's news. We still have some at
What we got left? We got 6:10.
6:10, 6:20, 6:25 from I'm actually speaking at 6:25. I forgot to tell you guys, but I'll hop off at 6:25 and I'll go be speaking there. No, I'm just kidding. And then we got 7:30 for another speech. Uh, but after that, after I would say those 6:30s ish,
Mhm.
it's pretty much starting to relax itself. So I have to pull up these speeches and just have them
Well,
going
yeah. Yeah, I executed a position on gold. Um, Took a gold sell,
today.
pretty quick scalp. Yeah, really quick scalp. Um, Took home about a little over five, right around $5.
Easy money, Sniper Supreme.
Yeah, then I slid over to USD JPY, and I'm trading inverse VXT at the moment.
Mm.
Let's see if he wants to creep up into this
Mm.
this area of
Breakdown.
inefficiency.
Yeah, just look at that area. Area is insane.
Mhm.
Same thing on gold. What's
Hold on, I'm
next?
gonna hit this restroom real quick. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yeah. We'll see how gold reacts at one of these levels. You know, just looking at price, right? If we're just looking at price, this just looks like a level of uncertainty. This looks like a level of uncertainty. How can we actually define that? Because there's so many of these kind of levels within the market, right? There's another level like that just right here. Level of uncertainty. So however you define it, you know how I define it by now, the three candle structure, right? And there are multiple of them at that's crazy. Anyways, but that's how I find them. Just find a way to identify when you can find a way to identify a certain pattern, symbol, anything that says, oh, this is an area of uncertainty. So we either buy from this area, we sell from this area, or we just end up just consolidating in this area. But it really, really has helped my profit target areas for when I don't, for when I'm not targeting like inefficiencies or liquidity, just simply an area of price that is super money. Um, and I haven't talked about it a lot. And I actually want to get some more historical data on this to support it. But the institutional numbers, right? Institutional numbers is another like hint to figure out what type of level, or not what type of level, but the strength of that level, let me say, as we're getting this rejection off of this decision making level. There's a reason that rejection is coming in like that, like at this level. You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't the rejection come here? Why didn't the rejection come here? Right? There's a reason that it got to this point. There's no telling that it can't break it. That doesn't mean it can't ever break it. Um, but it's like that point, right? And what is at that point? This is probably right on the institutional number. In this case, let's get rid of this. Let's look on the side here, right? What would be the institutional number in this case, right? This right here, institutional number, a clean number, right? Something that is no 0.658, none of that, just super clean, right? And 2668, boom, 0.00 is right on this level. And this wick literally came down and its low was 2668.6. And then it started buying up off of there. So I'm not saying that it's going to buy from here. I'm just saying this is the area that his gets to. And then, okay, it's like, all right, boom. Let's now decide what we're gonna do from here. Um, and so that's super important just to have something talking to us, communicating to us. Um, it's helped me, like I said, in my profit target areas, stop losses, right? Like if I wanted to buy off of this zone right now because I want to play this inefficiency, um, considering that we have been in a bullish trend, um, I can't do it right now, just the way my margin's set up, but I would buy it exactly like this, right? This would be my entry from whatever point we're at. My stop loss will be right under this level, right? Because I have my decision making level telling me, okay, this is where we're seeing rejection from buyers, right? So I'd buy there, that'd be my stop loss, take that'd be my risk to reward, one roughly like a one and a half to one ratio. But 60 pips, risking 40 pips, you know, I would like that entry actually. A 5 minute chart, maybe getting support from buyers with volume here, getting support from our dollar. And what another thing, why are those areas so important? Using it on our DXY. Using it on our DXY. And I love the way this has been looking, right? Look how it's used this 1 hour level. Yeah, it's broken these other levels. But if we break it down in time frames, we can always see it get to that level, get to a certain point, like here, right? Get up to a certain point, accumulate, sell off. Come back to that same point. So we know when it came back to that same point, we already have previous data that it accumulated at this area. Knowing that we also have the actually, let's not even get to that. We know from this point we have previous data that price got to this level, right? So now when we get back, it's like, all right, it's either going to sell off a good amount again, or it's time to break through. And then that's how we play that area, right? And then this matters because it's DXY. And so, I mean, at 7:50 a.m., which this would have been for yesterday, we could have played that break along with whatever pair is correlated to the US dollar. Um, so yeah, that's super clean right there. So we'll see how that plays out. I have not taken a position yet. I'll be taking positions on USDJPY.
Mhm. And I'm playing around with this inverse VXT a little bit, finding just the what time frame I want to kind of hone in that execution on. Execute this inverse VXT play on the 1 minute time frame. Um, but
Now,
yeah,
are
it's
you
just something
talking
I'm thinking about.
just strictly like analyzation, or
Yeah, and
analysis,
just
should I say? Or
yeah. Because what we're looking at is, I mean, for me, it's a uh, relativity peak, volume peak, and that'll look different on the 1 minute and 5 minute at any given moment.
mm,
Um, so like right now, I'm flipping between USD JPY 1 minute, USD JPY 5 minute. And if I would not have executed the same play if I was looking at the 5 minute, if that makes
mm.
sense. is where our MACD, our Bloom 3 is just right at midline. There's relatively, we're not anywhere. That makes
Mm.
sense.
Oh,
But
look at that play though. Look at
yeah,
that feel. That's super clean. Hold on, man. See, I got caught Wanda today.
yeah. And then I just took full close at the bottom of that.
That's clean. That's clean right there. Hmm. Oh, you on JPY, huh?
JPY, correct, correct, correct.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. Analyzing that, I think 1 minute, 5 minute. What would I like? 1 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, 5 minute gets to a point.
I wish there. Oh wait, there probably is. Hold on.
I think I
Shoot,
might
I'm gonna
be
start looking at this 2 minute. The fine right in the middle.
2 minute, 2 minute. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, no, I like the five. I think I like the five on it.
Mhm.
Just considering I feel like the 5 minutes just a stronger 1 minute. Like, of course, we know it's a bigger time frame, but like
Mhm.
when I'm analyzing it, and that's it talks quick, but not with as much enthusiasm as we do as we talk about the 1 minute having
Mhm.
not as many words.
That's busy.
That's
That's busy.
busy. That's
But I just,
noisy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there was actually a point in time where I was looking at I just had probably just too many time frames,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
just accessing too many time frames.
No, I feel
I
you. I feel you for sure.
and of course I still just like to look at Nvidia. I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Take a peek at look at this. Look at this though. These decision making levels are not a game. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I, so when in this type of play, I'm starting to learn this would have been a banger in like an options trade right here,
Mhm.
which now is gonna bring me to something I think you would be interested in and looking into is the difference
Mhm.
between stocks and futures. So just from what I know, there is a large difference in the return on both just because stocks is just like owning a company and just relying on the value of that company to increase rather
Mhm.
than futures, you're buying a contract that is priced at a certain amount that will multiply over time based on the given maturity date that you purchase it at. So just the potential for your return there is extremely lucrative. But at a like a in like a really like safe risk way, I feel like. Um,
Mhm.
the more I'm thinking about, the more I've been thinking about it.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's definitely something I want to get into. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Futures and even with options, like there's just some education that I want, um,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah,
just in
no.
terms of our 10 to 15 highly diversified streams of income.
Yes.
Um, you know, I'd like, yeah, yeah, because I wanted, there's a part of me that almost like, not that I want to do it all, but I want to have the knowledge where I can make an educated decision as far as finding truly the best 10 means of income. That makes
Yeah,
sense. Is mine?
no, for sure.
Why does it look like my camera's frozen? Can you see me, my camera right now?
Can I see you in the camera? I cannot see you in the camera. I see nothing.
What the heck?
Actually, I just saw like your empty doorway.
Yeah, I'm literally sitting at my desk. It's funny.
That's actually kind of creepy. That would have been full entry, full take profit right there. You know, you'd have got 60 pips. You could paint that picture however you like it. With
Uh,
you're given lot size. But that is shout out to you, Q, because the way I analyzed that, I would have only bought because we're in a bullish trend. Bullish trend from
mhm,
gold. So that inverse VXT play right there is money.
mhm,
Love that. I love that so much.
mhm.
And once again, I didn't take it because you want to know why? Because I have $9.78 in my account and I can't even trade a point 0.1 lot, .01 lot. Um,
Well, point one lot on XUSD is $13.39.
Cents of my margin. That's yeah. So you can see that's over 100% of my margin. So that's why I'm over here with USD JPY. And this is something that's really cool right here. If you're new to trading, new to Forex, um, or if you're not and you're really unfamiliar with what this term is, leverage, right? The reason I can trade USD JPY is because this broker I'm working with has a 500 to one leverage. So it takes my $9.78 I have in my account, it multiplies it by 500, making that what 4,500 if I'm not mistaken. 9 times 500. Yeah, 4,500. So that'd be 4,500 units of currency worth of buying power that I have, right? So I can do a point zero 0.02 because a point zero 0.02 is 2,000 units of currency, right? Which is why it's almost 50% of my margin because that's almost half of 4,500, which is how we got to that number via that leverage. Now on gold side of things, it's a lot less. Um, on my leverage, so it doesn't multiply this amount as much. And then, gold being as volatile as it is, I wouldn't want to have a really, really tight margin level. So,
Mhm,
but that doesn't ever pull me away from my analysis. Um, so I'm glad that I'm still able to utilize any session, no matter if I'm engaged physically trading or not. Um,
mhm,
but to use the session kind of like back testing, bro. Like,
mhm,
you be using those sessions to pull s- information from
mhm.
about your trading.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about this yesterday. As far as just high value, high profit potential skills go, you'll be hard pressed to find one in which you can learn and make very, very large strides for absolutely $0, with absolutely $0. Yeah,
Hmm.
you might need a device, some Wi-Fi, things to actually be able to look at the charts. Just those basic things. But like nobody would do it, but you can spend 6 months just learn the basics, not ever opening an account, and probably make just as much strides as somebody who has been, putting $100 here and there, as they're getting going, or $50 or whatever. Um, not that that's the point, but the point here is we can learn when we when we either don't have the capital or don't want to risk our capital, we can learn just as much than on the flip side of the coin. That makes sense.
Yeah. Jim Rohn says something like doing a lot when the amounts are small. Like
Mm,
so
mm,
not waiting until okay, I got 50,000. Let's figure out how to trade. Like not
mhm,
waiting until that time. Like when you have 50 cents learning how to
mhm,
trade. Um,
mhm,
so that speaks to a lot of different areas. Which is why I just love trading so much because it impacts so many other areas. Um, yeah, it, it's one discipline that makes you makes you really be intentional about all the other disciplines in life. Um,
mhm. Most definitely.
so let's see here what we got going. USDJPY hasn't shown that same correction on that initial move, which I mean it's fine, but it just kind of speaks volumes to the volatility that gold has. Be able to correct that 80 pip move in 10 minutes, 100 pip move in 10 minutes. Like think
Nice.
about that, bro. What? 100 pips in 10 minutes. And then it just corrects the right back. Another 100
Mhm.
pips.
Bam. Got
Right back.
Yeah, bro, you really, and the more I build my more and more I build my relationship with XAUSD, man, I'm much, much more willing to secure my profit
Yeah.
than say on a USD JPY. A USD
Yeah.
JPY, I'll let that motherfucker run.
Let
Like
that
I'll
go.
I'll let that sit, you know. And but with gold, things you can be right, things can be going well, but that shit can go away quicker than you could ever imagine, you know. Um, but and of course, but at the same time, over time, we recognize that, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday too. Is the manipulation that leads to fleeting feelings that minimizes over time. So you do get better at managing just the manipulation, particularly on gold. Um, because you really need that resilience to trade it because you will be in situations like that. Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Uh,
This is- Yeah, I think I
j-
may be entering a buy here shortly. Just thinking about the news, right? Bullish supporting the
mhm,
dollar, bullish, bullish,
mhm,
bullish supporting the dollar. When I look at my USD, well, my JPY, um, I like the bearishness from JPY that we've had. I want to see how it reacts to this level that we're sitting on now.
mhm,
Um, not I marked the inefficiency here on the 5 minute, but not necessarily, you know, looking to see if it does fill that right now. But
mhm,
just seeing at what point does it fill it if it wants to.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, I like taking a buy here shortly
And then
trying to
I
think what I
just
want from my fault, you
my
go.
fault. I didn't no, I didn't mean to interrupt you, dog. My fault. What was I going to say? That's what I was going to say. Is it 9 Actually, I just want to make sure 9 553.
And just took
All
a
right,
buy on USD
just
JPY. Sorry.
nice. I like that play. I like that play. But it's just closed a position here a second ago. On gold. High risk play was playing off of just stale buyer's volume on my 1 minute. And playing off a decision making level there at about 2680. Um, took home just a couple of pips, really small, really minimal risk. Excuse me, really minimal risk One smallest lot I could, 0.01. Been messing with the 0.02, 0.03. Um, but grab 20 pips there on that little play. Just right at 3.6% on the day. So be a little bit more heavily swayed towards my USD JPY pair. Um, but of course, I'm gonna pull up my trade plan actually and just see these parameters. That's something I want to do is kind of get into the rhythm of just looking at that, having that trade plan up and reading through that before my trading sessions. I have
Not
been doing that
lying,
the last
man.
couple of weeks.
Not lying. I was looking at my SWOT analysis this morning and my weaknesses, executing plan, consistency, data analysis. They gotta they gotta fix those.
Oof, man, I should have stayed in that gold trade a little bit longer. It's been beautiful. I like the pull there. Man, it's quiet in my ears. I need a little bit of whale noises. Where my orc is at. Orc is at. Go. All right, just past 6 o'clock. Of course, gonna continue to sit here and execute positions, but definitely want to, touch on this hot topic, the topic of this morning's call. How has trading impacted the founders of Bloom over time? Um,
Exponentially.
and so let's break that question down a little bit. I'll propose a question to you first, Marcus. How
Hmm.
has trading impacted your life? Um, yeah, I'll just throw the question out there, and then we can
Yeah,
kind of wrap and break it into pieces from there. But
yeah,
when you think about that question, what are the first few things that come into your mind as far as how trading has impacted your life over the last couple of years? And then, so talk about it in terms of before we started what we're doing, and then since we started what we're doing, and
yeah,
then what the last like 4 to 5 months have looked like, three to 4 months have looked like. Maybe kind of break it into like those three sections for you.
yeah. So so I would say before, as we're getting some seller's volume coming right now, selling pressure coming right now in USD JPY. I would say before we started doing this trading, it just opened me up to the possibilities like in
Hmm.
life. Literally once I figured out about trading and just what it actually was, and the legitimacy of it,
Hmm.
just the not even just money or finances, really just like what else is out there type of mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
what else could come across or whatnot.
Hmm.
And that's big in itself because I feel like that allowed me to handle and absorb a lot of challenges and obstacles and things I may have not been prepared for.
Hmm.
Um, but that uncertainty like I started to understand that it's just needed because it's just what's on the other side of, exploring the opportunities of life.
Hmm.
And then, so trading was just one of those because, I initially got into trading thinking that I could just, make bread. And um, as I'm gonna take a full close here on this position.
Yeah, but then real quick, like before Marcus gets back going, very often during our conversation, we will stop dead in our tracks and get right back to the markets, meaning that this is our live trading session. But of course, we're gonna continue back in the conversation when time
Yeah.
permits.
Yeah, I just took a full close on that. But what was I saying? Where's that at? I was saying,
Um, you initially just got into it to make bread.
yeah, so yeah, that's how I initially got into it. So
Okay.
I was not prepared at all for what type of challenge it would be is basically what
Hmm.
I'm getting at.
Hmm.
And then so that has never left me. Like what I understand about trading has never left me from the point that I encountered it. Like,
Hmm.
you know, 5 years ago now, about 21, yeah, so pushing on 6. Um, After we had, structured our strategy in specific,
Hmm.
um, it was like a surreal moment, bro, just because that whole time that I was, learning to trade and whatnot, I feel like I feel like I could understand the market. Like I could
Hmm.
potentially gauge where the market is going to go or where it could go. My psychology wasn't as near as what it is developing into,
Hmm.
and what it has developed into, but I was still I felt pretty good about it. Um,
Hmm.
But the execution and actually having a strategy and a way to enter the market and a way to exit the market, and a way to gauge, market volatility, and the macros, the fundamentals. Oh my gosh, I
Hmm.
didn't know any of that stuff. I didn't pay attention to any of it. I just looked at the numbers, green or red. I didn't really pay attention to anything like that. Um, Even though that's something we've developed over the last 3 to 4 months, but the strategy portion brought so much more like, dude, we can really like make like a fortune off of this. Like seriously, like we can really make a
Hmm.
fortune off of trading, bro, because I know that it only takes capital. So I'm
Hmm.
going to eventually have capital like to put into
Hmm.
this.
Yeah.
Like eventually, like it doesn't matter if it's in 5 years or 10 years, or like I'm eventually going to have what I want to have, to be
Hmm.
able to put into this. Um, and so that's kind of where I was when we figured this strategy out. Um, it was like, damn, we can make just for ourselves, we can make a fortune. Um, but then the how simple it felt for us to use,
Hmm.
it almost wouldn't make sense for us not to bring it to people. So that's kind of after we figured out a strategy, knowing about trading, already having experience with trading, feeling like personally it's not super complicated. Like even though it does take a second to grab onto, I understand that. Um,
Hmm.
but how the aspects of just how we truly paint the picture, it's not super simple, not super complicated. So I was like, man, after that, it took me to a different level of thinking because not only did I know that I could change my own life, but I felt even better about my possibilities of changing others because I've always been
Mhm.
somebody that has been like pro-social, as we've talked
Mhm.
about, like just my entire life, like no matter if it's, helping old ladies in the grocery store or somebody drops their stuff and walking in the mall, like I'm gonna help pick them up, pick it up. Like it's just kind of how I am, So
Mhm.
financially, I relate to a lot of people because that is one way that we can all connect besides, just being human beings is money. Like is money, is being able to buy whatever we want in terms of within our means. That doesn't have to be material things. It could be food, right? Gas, um, just in that aspect. So I can relate to people in
And
that way.
enough income to buffer
But
stress
exact. That's
at
everybody
the
wants
very
that.
least. Yeah.
Everybody wants that, right? Not
Mhm.
worrying about where that 20 is going and that 20 is going and whatnot.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, as far as after I figured we got the strategy and whatnot, that's kind of where my thinking went towards.
Mhm.
Um, and then of course all the business stuff in between that completely is aside from like actually like trading and really anything technical. It's all like systematical stuff, like business wise,
Mhm.
but that contributes to the goals of trying to obtain of giving back and impacting others. Um, so those kind of started to get intertwined together because it was aside from trading. Um,
Mhm.
because we could actually hurt people's view on trading if it was presented incorrectly on our behalf. Like that's stuff
Right.
that I would think about. Um, because I don't want to have that type of representation on what we're showing because it's so not that. Um,
Mhm.
and then we think about the last, 3 to 4 months and like people around me would think I'm insane, bro. Like to be honest, the way that I see this life developing into and evolving into and not and just talking about the business for right now, like our business just just because our business model is so profound and it's so pro-social, bro. Like it's like we're giving back. That's what it's for. But in a way that is so simple. It's so simple. And so business-wise, I just love our business model so much. That, when we talk about, the master bloomer, things that we're not getting into, but just just everything as a whole, the foundation, thinking about events in the future, thinking about what we're working on now, just literally everything business wise, um, is I've just had such peace with the process because it's made me appreciate starting it, right? Like
Mhm.
I would have never felt any of this and been able to grow in these ways without even pursuing business, right?
Mhm.
And so I think about that. Um, and then when I just think about trading in specific these last 5 months or 3 to 4 months,
Mhm.
dude, like there's no way I will not be successful in trading. Like there's I not even in a way where I'm like, I'm so persistent, push through the wall, I'm gonna be successful.
Mhm.
Bro, it's just like I have such a with all the information available to us, it's
Mhm.
it's so accessible. Everything is so accessible. Um, it makes so much sense, the Forex market. Like
Mhm.
in so the Forex market is a specific market, but I do view trading in just one light now, and I am able to view the charts in just one light now.
Mhm.
And it so like when I go to Nvidia, it does take me a second to get used to all these breaks in price, right? And
Mhm.
the pre-market and post-market, but I am able
Mhm.
to still find my levels, is to find liquidity, find inefficiencies, gauge fundamentals. understand trends, like what the market could potentially do, and then make my decision, right? And then use my lower time frames with our, our VXT or our inverse VXT and make decisions. Um, so that is one thing I like about trading is it's interchangeable once you understand the nature of the market,
Hmm.
and what aspects you can analyze to simplify the noise, right? Which is the fundamentals. And so yeah, these last 3 to 4 months, I definitely see myself, touching well over, 7, 8 figures in these next, 5 years. Um, because I have now understood that 1 year is a long ass time, bro. 1 year is a
Hmm.
long ass time. So I
Hmm.
was just doing this yesterday, building out like my short term, medium term, and long term plan. And my long term plan ends at 1 year. And then
Hmm.
I'm gonna find another word for stuff after like 1 year, but
Hmm.
because that's long for me, like a year's long for me. And so, yeah, yeah, knowing what we know about compound interest, thinking about
Hmm.
the, diversifying our investments, knowing what I know now about income to debt ratio, credit, business funding, just all the different money tools that I was never taught, money tools that we were never given, just
Hmm.
information to, I now understand not all of them, enough of them in enough ways to start to either seek out more knowledge for or start to utilize in a small scale. So
Hmm.
um yeah, man, that's pretty much, what I got for that. I know that was a lot, but yeah,
No, no, and
that's
it's particularly profound. And I have a question for you. And so, when you approach your kind of goal setting, and you ending at a year, when you pitch that forward, because obviously, 3 years of time is going to come, 5 years of time is going to come. What's your
yeah.
thought process in kind of like focusing on like a year at a time instead of, looking, to 5, 10 years and trying to figure out the like intricate details and like what your life's gonna look like 3, 5 years from now. How come you're kind of
Hmm.
confining that to a year? I like it. I like it, by the way, and this is something that I'm actually adopting as well. So I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it brings back to what you brought up about being present. So
Hmm.
I've struggled with thinking long term and being able to be present. And
Hmm.
so I just had to put a wall on my long term thinking. Um, and then it being 1 year, like, so let's say I make a 5 year plan, which I'm going to have something like that. But by the end of that first year, the end of my 5 year plan could be at the end of that second year. Like I
Hmm.
could already have made those type of strides. And so it's more of just that end of year, I get to reassess my than a longer term goals, longer than that 1 year. Um, I get to have I get to not limit my thinking, but um organize my thinking about the future, right? And then the other thing that made me think about it too is just baby Kalea, bro. And it's I mean, I can't even think about her being like 5 right now. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
In a way that, because I really want to appreciate her not even being able to walk and talk and stuff like that. So it's really me um trying to be more present, as well as not think so far out,
Hmm.
and kind of just put a target on when I will um kind of reassess the big picture, right?
Hmm.
When we're thinking
Yeah.
about just big picture stuff. Um And so yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. And I was listening to a podcast, the Modern Wisdom podcast. Chris Williamson's the host, and I think it was the episode that Huberman was on. And he talked about this as far as his goal setting, and it touches on exactly what you're getting at. You know, just throughout a year, just so many things happen to us, unexpected things, this, that are 100% completely unpredictable. Um, and when I look at what we're doing on the business side of things and the trading side of things, we just don't know what doors are going to open for us. Um, so pitching really trying to paint an exact picture of what your life will look like in 3 years from now or 5 years from now. And of course, there's an asterisk because, of course, like there's a place that I want to get to in 3 to 5 years from now. Like I have an idea, but you our time is best spent one just day to day doing our daily things right, the daily habits that we know will get us there, focusing on that,
Hang on a second. Have you
and
checked
then
the
focusing on what was I just saying? What was my thought there? What was my thought there?
You were saying taking the day to day, one day at a time, focusing on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and then one day at a time, and then over the course of a year, you can really lay out what 4 quarters look like. It's just as far as things you want to get done and articulate those really finely. And if something happens to us, a door opens for us. We're able to kind of pivot and move and adjust without having to scrap the couple hours of work that we spent on our 5 year plan and our 10 year plan. Um, no, so I like that. I like that a lot. Um, but no, bro, I'm right there with you. For me, trading came to me um, when I was in a place of just doing everything I could for my future self, if that makes sense.
Mm,
Um, yeah, so this if trading, I don't know what this would have looked like. I don't know if I would have kept going with this if trading came to me when I was 21 or even 22 or 20. But trading came to my life last year, last March, April. And so I've been able to just have a really, really profound appreciation for what this knowledge can bring. Um, I always wanted to kind of get into finances in some way. I knew there was other ways to make money than just your career. I understood that. Especially trading coming to me, when I'm a senior in college, so more mature, I have a good job, um, pay my taxes, pay my bills, buy stuff, going to like I was truly like a full functioning adult when trading came to me. Um, Here I'm freaking losing my frame of thought here every other sentence, um, but here. Hold on, I have it. I have it. Uh, I knew there was other ways to make money and compound your money. But what I saw in trading, and especially now, and here speaking to the last couple months, I've seen just how the understanding of just Forex kind of expands to just understanding of the financial markets, which leads to the understanding of macroeconomics. And so I think that's kind of the kind of cycle I've gone through is super Forex heavy, just Forex heavy, then you know, just trying to understand, the financial markets and what are the potential indicators of currency movement. And then to now, I'm like, okay, let's look at the big picture here. Let's look at the macro and let's look at what's really going on. Because then it's going to come back full circle, and understanding the macro and understanding the big picture will allow us to optimize any financial market we want, be it Forex, stocks, options, futures. So I see a beautiful kind of cyclical nature of this as far as, hyper focusing on see here, Forex. Okay, understand the macro, getting a better idea of the big picture. All right, let's maybe tap into something else. Not tap into something else, tap into something additional. Okay, let's learn and figure that out. Do some more research, continue to build our understanding of the big picture. And just over time, refining those, again, 10 to 15 highly diversified streams of income that I want to carry with me into my 30s, 40s, 50s, things I want to hold on to. So, with that said, what trading has allowed me to do is, um, I feel like I had an expanded worldview, in respect to many others, but it's really shown me what's possible, outside of having a high profitable career. Um, and it's allowed me to have an affinity for economics, macroeconomics, and be a resource for macroeconomics. Because not a lot of people have that in their lives, and not a lot of people have, a quote unquote finance guy that they can trust, that has integrity, that's honest, that isn't trying to, necessarily profit off of them for just merely distributing information. That's why I think our business model kind of complements our trading, in the sense that, of course, we want to, like, we're a business, and we want to do things to, at the end of the day, earn, like any business does. But, and here I'm kind of getting into some stuff that we'll kind of release next week and over the next 4 weeks. The information that we have is going to be out there and released in many different forms, but at the end of the day, it's going to be free. Um, and that's what we want to do. We want to make this as accessible. We want to be a resource to anybody, and then we'll have additional stuff and stuff for people who want more, want that additional. That, of course, we'll charge for, that we'll earn for, of course, because at the end of the day, our time, the time we're spending, the late nights, and everything like that. Definitely want to have some cash flow going in, as any business does. But I really appreciate, especially over the last couple of months, kind of since our restructuring and really figuring out what we're about. Right? I
Yeah.
think we were, before the last couple of months, we were scattered in, like, not too scattered, but just scattered in, just our vision and what this thing is actually going to look like for the next, year, for the next 3, 5, 10 years. And I think we just have a really, really clear picture, of that. And yeah, uh, I'm blessed because I'd consider myself now a macroeconomics minor and a business minor that would like to be a major in both those disciplines. So just the knowledge, man, just the knowledge. That's what I'm so grateful for. And again, trading came to me when I was in a place of, like, I'm just highly obsessed with gaining and absorbing as much knowledge as possible.
Mm.
Before trading, it was health and human performance, still is health and human performance, and oral health. Um, but now I'll add that. And of course, throughout my life, I'm just going to continue to add things that I'm fascinated with and learn. But now I'll throw just business operations, and then micro and macro, economics understanding. So super blessed, super fortunate. And yeah, we don't want to be doing it with anybody else. Um, so yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man, I'm just I can't help, but to just get excited anytime I think of things bigger
Mm,
than
yeah,
today. I think of, next month and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for this. Or next year, like, fuck, I can't wait till we can do that, till we have the opportunity to do that.
yeah,
But I think we both understand, and the work has shown that we understand that it's the day-to-day stuff.
yeah,
It's the planning, it's the orchestration, and then most importantly, it's the execution, and the strategic releasing of things. Um, but
for sure.
highlight on the execution part of things, and um, yeah, man, we're just at a really good spot, high velocity, high momentum.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, man, that'll carry us through Q4,
yeah.
and then as we move into Q1, Q2, we'll have that plan laid out, and yeah, man, we'll continue blooming.
No, for
Great.
sure. Yeah, no, that quarter stuff has helped me too. Another thing, like as far as like, organized time,
Mhm.
that's actually probably what I'll do. My just being, playing basketball and understanding quarters and understanding even when I didn't really understand this until we got to college.
Mhm.
Understanding how long the game is, understanding
Mhm.
what are the most important parts of the game, like even when it comes down to not make or miss shots, but you
Mhm.
know, did you follow the your routine prior to warm up, just the entire aspect of it.
Mhm.
I'm really able to be really practical about anything, really, honestly. Life and trading has allowed me to, because this is probably something I thought was really complex, that
Mhm.
it's not that complex. I thought it was, but it's not. So it led me to want to explore, like you said, um, those other investments
Mhm.
and how we can utilize this market more.
Mhm.
But to just bring it back, to the analogy I was using, the quarters, and understanding the game is long, and that's how I've been able to organize time. Because it's like, you know, fourth quarter, most important part of the game. Like you could have done everything bad in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, it's still in a manageable range, you know,
Mhm.
and everything goes through the roof. Um, so yeah, just this little analogy that I like there that I've been holding on to. As I did take another buy entry,
Mhm.
and I'm probably gonna take another full close here on this sell, on this buy on UJ.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
just poor risk there, knowing that I just took a L. I really want to stay strong to 5%, um, especially when I'm under, I think it was $1,000. Yeah. So risking 5% on each trade of $1,000 is $50.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's kind of what I want to risk on each trade and stay below that.
Mhm.
But with $9,
Right. Makes
5%
it
is
tough.
45 cents. So
Makes it tough.
it made it tough. I didn't realize that. So that's on me. Is what it
Yeah.
is.
No, yeah. No, it
I'm
makes it
going to
tough.
be putting more funds in my account, by the way. So I don't want anybody hopping on this YouTube channel video and watching this like, bro, trade with more than $9. Like, man, I'm gonna do that. I need a
See,
little
but
time,
how
man.
beautiful is just that understanding though,
Yeah, like,
right?
bro, yeah,
Like we're approaching this,
yeah,
the capital is the limitation, yeah, but trade to trade basis, like you're able to essentially trade as if there's 100 grand in your account, and
Yeah.
just approach the entries the same way, and get yourself out of the market in the same way as you would.
Yeah.
And I was listening. I heard something, man, and as soon as we can like literally completely remove the blinders of money and dollars and cents in this, and literally just trade based on just our strategy, yeah, but just what's in front of us and not think about the dollars and cents that we're making or losing.
Mm,
That's where the beauty is. That's where the
mm,
beauty is, because money affects emotions. No matter who you are, no matter where you live, no matter how much money you already have, what's coming and going out of your bank account essentially will affect you. Um,
for sure.
but when it comes to executing our trading, it can distract us. It can deter us from getting to a place as a trader where we can be profitable consistently.
Mm,
Um, and I'm definitely in the mindset that as soon as we can kind of just take off the blinders of money when we're executing each individual trade, and not execute a position thinking, okay, I'm thinking I'm gonna make this much, that much on this position. If this trade gets to $5, I'm gonna take out. No, let's utilize your strategy, utilize your analysis. When is the most optimal time that you think is to get out of the market? Okay, let's get out there. No matter what the dollars and cents are. Okay, I'm
yeah.
am I in drawdown? Am I going to have to take my exit? All right, what does your strategy say? Market gets there, take your exit. Back test the entry, figure out what went wrong. Do your due diligence. Um, but that's an existential struggle of traders, I feel like. Um, you know, because yeah, yeah, existential struggle of traders trying to do something, pursue something that innately, of course, increases our income is designed. We do it to increase our income. But the day to day, on the basis level, on the ground level, we want to at least I want to remove the thought of, okay, I want to make $1 million. I want to make $10 million with this, and just execute, man. Just execute based on my strategy best I can, and understanding my risk on each individual position. That's
Yeah.
that's the place I want to sit at.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. With that last, what you said, yes. 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 Yeah. And when I think about what the last 3 to 4 months too, as well, we were talking about a second ago, as also got me thinking about is just what happens after trading.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, this is just I'm about to enter another buy on USDJPY. Look at my dollar really quick. Now this dollar is running into this 1 hour decision making level. And so I need dollar movement to get USD JPY as well to move where I wanted to move. There is a speech going on right now as I have Ocean Waves playing. But
Mhm.
I thought I had this speech going somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. Um, damn it, what was I saying? I was saying, um, after trading, right? So
Mhm.
no, I don't want to watch this. What is this? Let's watch.
Yeah, but I got some 40 hertz binaural beats going. Kind of like this. I'm gonna send this to you. So I'm gonna put it in that. I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm
gonna
trying to find this damn speech real quick.
copy the link.
Maybe it's not being recorded. Whatever. Opening remarks, whatever. Yeah, because I'll probably just sit on my hands until after these speeches are done. 18 minutes until pending home sales news year over year and month
Yeah,
over month.
totally forgot about that. That news actually.
Um, but no, what this has made me think about for life after trading.
Uh-huh.
I thought I was gonna trade, forever, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But like once this thing gets to a certain point, I'll probably take like 2 trades a week, maybe a month. Um, probably not a month. I'd probably say at least 1 trade a week. Um, and just thinking about it briefly before I've dove into it, that's the major reason why I'm getting into short term, medium term, long term. That's just stuff I'm going through for my finances
Mm-hmm.
and personal financial plan. Um, but freak, bro. I forgot what I was saying again.
That's just happened to me 3 times a day.
Shit, as I was
But
getting
yeah,
into my
and
I
you only want to
forget
make one trade a week.
1 trade a week. Okay, yes. Thinking about the plan, 1 trade a week. That would probably just be on a completely separate account. But there is an account I want where I have like a um like long-term type of trading. I forget the exact term. Refresh me on the exact term. Swing is not swing. Is it swing? When they hold it longer
Mm-hmm.
than the
Yeah,
days or
it's
whatnot.
a swing trade. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanna have something like those where I'm holding those on like, where I'm viewing my weekly chart type of thing and I'm
Mm-hmm.
analyzing my weekly chart and then gauging off of that. Um, you know, and so when I just think about, trading and the future of it, that's another thing these last 3 to 4 months have allowed me to understand is just all the other investments. But all the other things that I want to get into outside of just the financial markets, because I will feel well diversified in the next, 2 years. Like I
Mm-hmm.
feel well diversified in every aspect of the financial market. I really, really want to get into bonds. That's something that I really want to get into. And just exploring how I could utilize that and execute on that. And even the aspect of using, another currency's loan from their bank and putting it into a government security in the US. Like understanding that that is a type of investment, Um, so those type of things within the financial market. But then outside of that, getting into things we truly, truly care about. Not that we don't care about the financial market, but like education, getting within the community, just things like that. So that's one thing that the last 3 to 4 months has pulled me closer um, to where I'm like, damn, I have to get the plan in order that I'm going to, show to people. Like when they talk to me about economics and whatnot, when they ask me a question, like I want to be able to have a structure to be able to, convey that message,
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. So yeah, bro. This is all because what brings us back to the topic today, which is how trading has impacted us. This is all from trading. Like I don't, like you said, you don't know if you would have explored trading if it would have came to you at the time that it did. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if I would have explored this stuff if I would have never been introduced to trading. So, um, yeah,
Mhm.
shout
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I was just gonna say shout out to whoever made the market.
Yeah, shout out to all the currency exchange men back in the 1640s
Yeah.
who laid the pound foundation of what we're building today.
Mm,
But yeah, man, we've been making one trade a week sounds so beautiful. Um, just so beautiful. And then that's yesterday I talked about, wanting to have an accountant, which that I just live off of. Shit, brother. Yeah. I want to have a couple hundred K initially in there, and I make, one trade a week, and that's gonna get me to survive for the week. Not to survive,
yeah,
but pay for just whatever. But yeah,
yeah, that's good.
pretty soon here though, like in the name of diversification, like I'm gonna start diversifying sooner than later, and just
Mm,
start building out the plan for, um, just kind of building 10 to 15 highly diversified streams. And starting trying to decide and pick, about three, four, work on my first five. That's what I want to do. Work on my next five. I mean, when I think about this, I think of, you know, probably two that'll be, for when I'm 50 or 60, when I'm put, 30, 40, 50 years from now. And then three of them being, things that, in the next, 5 years or so will, be there for me and be working for me between now and, forever. So have like three kind of more not short term, but like short term to long term, and then two just like long term, um, means of uh, establishing my financial future. Um, yeah, pretty quick here. I'm gonna get going, get active. Of course, I'm gonna, express my as much as I can with the community, with everybody. Of course, we're not gatekeeping over here, man. Nothing I've learned in this, I've necessarily had to pay for. Just a lot of the knowledge, the fundamental knowledge. I want what I know. I want my knowledge to be accessible to other people as well. And like I said, of course, we'll have ways in which we can get more involved and just do more things. Um, for a price point, like anything. But yeah, man, just super excited for this next stage in my life.
yeah, me too, bro. For real. Like, I'm excited for your next stage. I'm excited for
Yeah.
our next stage too.
Facts, bro. Facts, facts, facts. And like I said, man, it's impossible. Like I think of like 5 years from now, bro. Like I like my mind, it just all good things, all big things, but very quickly it gets gnarly. Things get big, and I love it. I love it. Like I said, we're laying the foundation here, making sure we just do things right, man. That's why I like where our focus is at. To doing the things we need to do every single day and doing them right, doing them with the pro social mindset. As gentlemen, gentlemen, that's my favorite word, actually. So
I was
I've been watching.
actually,
Go
you go
ahead.
ahead, you go ahead.
No, bro, go ahead.
I was actually, I have this thing to where I just like pick up a book, a Trading Go Rich book, and I just flip to a page. Since I've read it,
Mhm.
it's like it's the only book I've ever finished cover to cover.
Mhm.
Um, so I actually like really take pride in that. And also it's kind of embarrassing the fact I only finished one book, but don't talk about that yet because we'll get there. But I just flipped to a page yesterday and it was page 100. of Think and Grow Rich, and it started at the 31 major causes of failure.
Mhm.
And he goes into that. But this gets to this will tie into trading. It'll tie into the capability that we have as human beings to literally do whatever we want. Thinking
Mhm.
about back to what Jason was talking about. Shout out Jason with the magic wand. Magic wand. And he says the very first one, unfavorable hereditary background. There
Mhm.
is but little, if anything, which can be done for people who are born with a deficiency in brain power. This philosophy offers but one method of bridging this weakness through the aid of the mastermind. The mastermind is just like a group of people that work in
Mhm.
harmony toward the same goal. And then
Mhm.
it says, observe with profit, however, that this is the only one of the 31 causes of failure which may not be easily corrected by any individual.
Mhm.
As like the only thing that is stopping us from this from happening is literally something that has to happen like when it comes to our actual health. Um,
Mhm.
but and the only thing that could stop an individual is they have said deficiency in their brain power at the
Mhm.
time. So I just want to just throw that out there.
Mhm.
Uh, because I thought
Yeah,
that was dope that I flipped to that page because that book has some
fire.
heat in it, bro.
It's fire. I still need to get through it. I've only gotten through like the first two chapters. I kind of have like a carousel of books, bro. But I think and this is what I was gonna get to, man. This is my Bible right here. Not the Bible, but um and so when we were growing up, we grew up Jehovah's Witnesses. And when we were, as a Jehovah's Witness kid, you're to act and behave a very, very particular way, especially in your domains outside of church, whatever. So my mom, she really ingrained the aspect of being a gentleman, and my grandparents, the aspect of being a gentleman. So we got these books at the Men's Warehouse, like probably fucking, I was shoot, like 12, maybe. Now, maybe even younger. Maybe I was like eight,
Mm,
between 8 and 12. So the book that she bought us, the first one was How to Be a Young Gentleman. But then this one I haven't read yet. I read that one, the How to Be a Young Gentleman, when I was little. Uh, then this one's How to Be a Gentleman. I've always held on to it, never gone through it. It's just been
mm,
sitting in my little stack of books. Um, but this is what I'm getting into now. And there's a couple of things that I want to do by highlighting this, just because it's so profound, and just being a gentleman and what that means. And so much of what we would talk about as far as being pro-social and I think we want to do for people with integrity, honesty. That's what being a gentleman is, at the end of the day. Um, a gentleman does his best to be there when he is needed and to stay out of the way the rest of the time.
mm.
I don't find there's some bangers in here, man. Hold on. But this book is it would actually inspired me to grab this book from underneath my bed because I'm watching this for the second time. Like I said, I'm watching this French show. It's called Lupin.
Okay.
This guy, he's a con artist. Um, but he bases his whole ideology is based off of these French books called like The Adventures of Arsène Lupin. And his whole thing is a gentleman burglar. So he steals from you, but he's a complete gentleman while he does so. And you wouldn't think of him otherwise. It's a fire show, bro. It's one of my favorite shows all time. Actually, it's so cool. But just the whole gentleman aspect, just kind of just sits with me.
Yeah.
Like this first chapter is a gentleman does not use his cell phone, or it's like a gentleman in his cell phone.
Yeah, that's real.
Uh,
Nah, I
uh,
feel that.
okay, I'm gonna read this.
Yeah.
All right, where do I want to start? Where do I want to start? I'll just read this little introduction real quick. So yada 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 yada. Written correspondence, and yet uncertain truths remain unchanged, and the desire for gentlemanliness persists as well. No matter how much the world may change, a gentleman still needs to know how to behave from day to day and from occasion to occasion. If he drops a fork, he still wants to know whether he should pick it up or leave it lying on the floor. Married or not, a gentleman would be expected to go to parties and to entertain. He has business associates to deal with and coworkers with whom he must get along. He needs to know how to set a table. He needs to know how to introduce two of his best friends. And he needs to know how to tie a bow tie all by himself at a moment's notice. Unfortunately, however, being a gentleman has little to do with tying a tie or fumbling with the flatware. Instead, it requires only little logic, a bit of forethought, and a great deal of consideration for others. It is not about complicated rules and convoluted instructions. It is about trying to make life easier for other people. It is about honesty and sincerely being a nice guy. For a nice guy, the noblest virtues are camaraderie, dependability, and unwavering loyalty. He realizes that it is an oversimplification to suggest that a gentleman's future might be ruined if he were to eat his entree with a salad fork. This is why this book spells out what a man really needs to know if he plans to make his way in this world. Simply acting like a gentleman is not enough. It is being a gentleman that is important, and that means thinking of others, being there when you are needed, and knowing when you are not needed. It is it truly is possible for a man to learn to be a gentleman if he has the direction he needs. For that reason, the women of the world have welcomed this book for over a decade. They will continue. This will welcome. They will welcome this new edition now, and gentlemen everywhere will be glad to see it too, safe in the knowledge that an ever newer world can be an ever nicer world as well.
Mm.
I really like that introduction that this guy wrote. That was beautiful. John Bridges, How to Be a Gentleman, a timeless guide to timeless manners. Yeah. So
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. What was the how to be a gentleman? What was his name again? John Bridges?
yeah, John Bridges. John Bridges. He's written a lot of like books like this. Gentleman Manners books. This one's kind of old though. I think so. I have to look at the print on this.
No, yeah. That
2008 by way of 1990 to 8. Okay, yeah, so I was 8.
this just going stupid, bro.
I mean, being a gentleman. There's not enough gentlemen in the world. It's a weak men. Not weak men, just nah, weak isn't the right word to use, but just unconsiderate, unable to take care of what they need to take care of, not able to understand when they're needed, when they're not needed. Like I value like that with just who I am and how I was raised. I value that. I value being a nice person, being a good person, and infusing positivity into the world higher than I even value my profession or economics. Like at the end of the day, man, I
Yeah.
just want to just spread good as much as possible. We just need so much more of that. And so being able to infuse an ideology like that, an ideology we both represent into a business model and into a venture
Yes.
like trading,
Yes.
rather it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, the testing. Yeah, and the part I like, um he said the just the doing versus the being, like right, like you the just
Hmm.
it's just who you are, right? It's not something
Hmm.
that you necessarily like do, and that's
Hmm.
how you can separate when it's actually just the genuineness, um, which yeah,
Hmm.
something that is definitely very lacked these days. Why do you think that is though? Why do you think um because I mean the way that I was brought up too, like, I watched my dad, hold the door for people.
Hmm.
I considered, my father to be a gentleman when I was growing up, and I know that's how he was trying to raise me to be as well,
Hmm. Hmm.
and how to contribute to the world,
Hmm.
um, and shine my light on the world in that way. Um,
Hmm.
and so, what do you think it's like? Is it society? Is it social media? Is it like where did
Yes.
like is that do you think that's what it
Yes.
is?
The older I've gotten and paid attention to this, one, I've gained an extreme appreciation for my family and my parents,
Yeah.
because not a lot of kids are raised like that. Even kids
No.
people my age, even people generations past, where quote unquote it was more and more common. Not everybody is raised with those values.
Mhm.
Um, so there's that. But more specifically speaking, to this Gen Z era, um, I think social media has a really big part in that. I think degeneracy and uh, inauthenticism is celebrated in our society now. You look
Mm.
at, bro,
Mm.
like all these streamers that are just degenerate streamers at the end of the day. Like if I could find one word for them, yeah, sure it's entertaining, sure it gets views, but ESPN is having these guys on their show. They're having meets
Yeah,
with Tom
bro.
Brady and they're hanging out with LeBron. Degeneracy is celebrated in our society, and these are the kids that um the youth are watching these streamers, these degenerate streamers are what these kids are watching.
Yeah.
These kids have millions of views, not coming from many people over 20. I bet 5% of their viewership is from people over the age of 20. Um, and this kind of gets to my magic wand answer, which I'll get to towards the end of this call, and kind of lay the foundation for that. Um, but we really have to reevaluate what's celebrated in society. And it's surely not being a gentleman, and it's surely not being a caring, loving, considerate human being. But
Yes.
one thing I love about traveling and going to new places and just being outside is you recognize that it may seem bleak, especially in the age we live in now. Um, but there's so many beautiful people in the world. There's so many nice, caring, loving people in the world. Um, yeah, man, I just want to be one of those people. It it's always been my goal. You know how like when you're out and about, you'll see a guy do something nice, or you just be around somebody. You're like, man, this guy's super cool. Just nice person, nice guy. Like
Yeah.
I've always strived to be that for other people. Because when people
Hmm.
come across you, like, damn, that's a really nice fucking guy. Like that's a really nice
Yeah.
guy. He's profound thoughts. He's caring. He's a gentleman. I've always strived for that. Um, but yeah, man. When I approach it, societies and societal standards, there's not much I'm gonna be able to do, as far as like the big picture of that. Like I don't control the news, I don't control ESPN, I don't control
Yeah.
um, whatever streaming services there are. But I surely can do my part to, spread as much positivity and impact the youth that I encounter. with how I behave. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's yeah, yeah.
No, I
There's
feel that, bro.
definitely yeah the education and the way the youth are led just has to get which is really reevaluated, bro. Because
Yeah.
now I feel like sports aren't what they used to be as far as like
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
these kids like how kids are growing and expanding their worldview is just so much different than even when we were in school.
Yes.
So I think we have to be really careful and really intentional as far as what's celebrated in our society again. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a very interesting conversation to have with my dad.
Yeah.
Just being in
Bro,
education
that's
for
yeah.
25 years.
Yeah.
He just has a really interesting take and perspective on
Yeah.
that.
Damn, no, that's thinking about that, just seeing, yeah, he's seen the development in a completely different setting. Yeah, that's like as
Hmm.
far as that the change in kids.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, bro, you're 100%. That's something that I've always the older, especially the older I've gotten.
Hmm.
Of course, just because, naturally the older you get, the more people you have under you. Um,
Hmm.
and so I've always wanted to be that, like, club basketball team, basketball coach type vibes.
Hmm.
Something that is definitely something I want to do, because that is, first of all, basketball being something passionate about, and an alley that I can get a hold of a group of kids, that can
Hmm.
then just transition to, you know, something else within that same type of field. And this is the thing
Hmm.
too, what you said. It's we can't change the world, not really, but bro, it really starts with a few people to
Hmm.
just
Definitely.
pollute, and especially within our area. Like, if we just let's just take Arizona. Like, we can definitely leave a very large um impact on Arizona just through touching a few people, which is,
Hmm.
I just think, is the beauty of human interactions. We always say the term, it's a small world.
Hmm.
Because it really is, once we get down
Hmm.
to it, because we can all could connect at one point, right, and where we're all connected. Um, and so, yeah, man, I've always wanted to get a hold of the youth, and just especially as I see even like music, that culture that's kind of being just ruined, um, just with I think the fashion industry is a
Hmm.
very poor model, and it's an easy thing for people to grab onto, because everything is, like, to your point about the basketball scene, just so flashy.
Hmm.
Everything is so flashy. Um, and it's a really tough situation I'm in right now, because I got Caden at home, bro. He loves YouTube. Like, he loves
Hmm.
YouTube. He loves watching Minecraft streamers
Hmm.
on
Hmm.
YouTube because he likes Minecraft. But,
Hmm.
like, Minecraft is a damn confusing game. And for him to be as good as Minecraft as he is,
Hmm.
he can build a 20-foot building and put a secret lair and a bookshelf, and walk me through the entire building. I'm thinking
Hmm.
about, okay, damn, he can, he might be some type of architecture. He might want to do
Hmm.
something like that.
Hmm.
So trying to massage the creativity of the youth while showing them the, not necessarily the bad parts, but how to utilize, I think is kind of where the angle I want to take.
Hmm.
Not necessarily keeping you away from it, um, but understanding how to utilize it, understanding how to maneuver through it, what to
Hmm.
absorb, what to not absorb. from it and so on and so forth. Because right now, it's just like there's no direction. There's no direction. So
Yeah.
everything you got freaking Kamala Harris bringing Meg Thee Stallion on, which doesn't help because then you got that stuff going on social media, which doesn't help because now
Mhm.
that changes people's worldviews, and now you know what I'm saying, especially at that age,
Mhm.
because it's so accessible, it's so accessible,
Mhm.
um, and that's the scary
Yeah,
part.
brother. Yeah, but yeah, and then one thing I like, so like no, like you're truly a model for me as far as just being a dad, bro. Like for real, like me and my little brother, we are the he's the youngest in like our whole family of like just like immediate cousins. And I'm
Hmm.
like second or third youngest. So like we haven't had like any like babies that like been able to watch like anybody like, closely like on a week to week basis just like raise a
Hmm.
child. So it's very interesting. I'm always paying attention to how you interact with Caden and of course baby Kalea. But I where I'm at in my situation, my little brother, man, my little brother, he was one that is in the Gen Z kind of thing, man. He just likes to be on the game. But he has a few things that he loves. And that's just,
Hmm.
like he watches YouTube videos on it just all day. And what I'm trying to just kind of get him to is just to kind of leverage the things that you're passionate about. All right,
Hmm.
you love sports. Like this kid, he loves F1, like F1 soccer Champions League, um, La Liga, NFL, NHL, MLB. Like, he follows all this. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, like figure out something. Like, let's figure out something in there. In there. Let's transfer this energy, and let's call it positive energy because it is
Hmm.
positive energy. To something that can really that you can make a life out of. You know, the and it's the financial understanding that I kind of want paradigm that I want to change in the sense that your profession, your career should be at the end of the day something that you're absolutely passionate about. I think what you're working and doing every single day, to me, it should 100% be something you're passionate about. And of course, it
Yeah.
doesn't end up being that for most people. I think as long as we have the opportunity to pursue that, we should. Um, and again, just leveraging, the things that we're passionate about and and finding a path in life professionally, secularly, that where we can utilize that. Um, fuck, there's just one more thing I wanted to say. Um, um, yeah, it'll come back to me, but yeah. Passionate about because the in this and it, I mentioned the financial paradigm and we can grow and expand our finances so many ways outside of just our profession.
Yeah.
That's something I want that we want to spread to the youth. That's kind of the
Yes.
message we want to put out to the world is you should be able to pursue something you're passionate about even if it doesn't necessarily pay you well, but you just love to do it because you understand economics, you understand the financial markets, and you know how to leverage 10 to 15 highly diversified streams of income that put money in your pocket year after year. And whenever you retire, you got a nice pot of gold waiting for you at the end after, utilizing a pot of gold to get there. That makes sense. But that kind of financial understanding and kind of separating finances from what you really want to do, I think is just highly, highly important.
Yes.
um, and gives us the resolution to pursue what we really want to do.
Yeah, one thing that I love from and Jim Rome, I'll speak a lot on him throughout just the time you guys are on these calls and whatnot. That's somebody that I really have developed my philosophy after and just from analyzing just the way he talks about things and certain things. But it kind of what you're saying just makes me think about what he says about cost versus value.
Mhm,
Um, And, when we think of cost, we think of dollars, we think of money, but when we think of value, we think of the intangibles. Um, and so that is something I wish I would have known like prior to, just I'd probably say like college, high school, even high school, because that's how you better make decisions. When you understand the
mhm,
difference between what this costs versus what this is actually worth. Um, yes, I can go out on this late night, and it only will cost me, maybe a few hours of sleep, but it may be worth the next 3 months of my growth. Do I do it?
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Like
mhm,
it's simple decision making. And in that instant, you can decide no. Like and then go from there. So um yeah, that to what you're saying about just choosing something you're passionate about, um,
mhm,
just not attaching it to money is so important because that can stop a lot of people, bro. Because people are frightened to be broke, to not have money,
mhm,
to not be able to pay for their
mhm,
expenses, to not be able to take their lady out to eat, to not be able to help moms out, or dad with the bills. Um,
mhm,
to not be able to hand a homeless man $5 on the road, even though you don't know what you're gonna do with it, but to not be able to do those things, that affects people. That affects me. I'm actually, speaking from somebody that just directly speaking personally. Um, and like I said earlier, I know that I can relate to people because I just feel like I have that ability to when it comes especially to the emotional things. Right.
mhm.
So yeah, man,
Yeah,
that's something.
really, yeah, and really quick. It really quick for a lot of people. It turns into what Jason says. You earn a paycheck to have income to pay bills, simply, and that's what people's lives turn into really quickly as they get into the workforce and as they get older. Just that passion and the things that they truly care about just kind of
Yeah, just
absolve
dwindle.
into
Yes,
the
yes.
never just yeah, they just float away, flutter away into the
And
past.
then what does that trickle
And
down
it
to?
really it's painful to
What
see.
what does that trickle down to? The freaking how the kids. Then they end up trying to force the
Yeah,
dreams on their
yes.
kids.
Yeah.
Their
Yes,
dreams
yes,
that they are
exactly.
still not is and then it's just a cycle. And then that's how you get generational cycles.
Hmm.
It's,
Hmm.
so that's
Hmm.
yeah, bro. I'm really
Hmm.
grateful for what we're doing here for real, just because it gives you puts the controller in your hand and says,
Hmm.
okay, you control the game. I'm not
Hmm.
going to tell you when to come clock in, how much you're going to make, and what investment opportunities you have to pick between a 401k and a Roth IRA, and um, you
Hmm.
you control the game, and I like that much better. I like that much better, especially when they're taking 30% from my damn taxes, bruh.
Hmm.
Hey, come on. I literally like I had to think about that for a second. I was talking to a customer and a colleague of mine. Like, so if you make 100K in the United States, probably gonna make somewhere around maybe like 75, 70, 80 around there, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Then everything you buy has sales tax. Everything you
Hmm.
buy has sales tax. So then you add, you know, another. let's just call it 10 10,000, that you'll pay
Hmm.
on things for sales tax over the year. Now your income's down to 60K. All
Yeah.
right. Then you got bills to pay. You got all these bills to pay. You got rent. Let's just say your rent's 2K a month. That's 24,000. Boom.
Hmm.
All right. So now we're down to about 34K. Then you got
Hmm.
your car. Your car, it's about 400 a month. So that's about 8K a year.
Hmm.
Right. And so now we're down to about say 16K.
Yeah, because yeah.
Then you got your credit
Yeah.
card that because you're spending that because
Hmm.
you don't want to spend your paycheck
Hmm.
because it's not as big as you thought because of tax and you have to pay bills. So you're going to spend your credit card because you'll pay it back. And now you have
Hmm.
interest. So you're paying more than and you're just
Hmm.
in a cycle,
Yeah.
in a cycle.
Hmm. Yeah, but yeah, yeah.
So
Yes, 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 brother.
it's just,
Yes. Really getting at the fundamentals of the short-term debt cycle there.
yeah,
Good analogy.
yeah,
Good,
bro.
really good analogy. Yeah, but we definitely I just wrote this down on my table. We definitely took the red pill, man. We
I have
we
not
was
seen The
using the
Matrix yet. I need to watch that.
wow. Oh my
Hey,
days.
hey, if you ask me a lot of
Uh
movies, you would probably
mhm.
be really upset because I'll probably say no at a lot of
Damn,
classics.
brother. Fuck. Yeah, but the Matrix, I love the Matrix series. And it really is, prof- profound
Yeah.
and just we watched it in a film class. When a
Mm,
film class I took, I think my junior year in college, Ottawa. And I loved that class. It was amazing. But
mm.
it's just breaking down just the ideology underneath that movie. And
Yeah,
you're
I'm gonna
using it
watch
as an
it.
analogy for us. Yeah, but we took the red pill. We took the red pill where we're committed, we're invested in figuring out what's really going on and to how we can leverage it to increase
Mm,
our knowledge and our abilities, and then give that to other people as well.
yes.
Um,
Yes.
Save Zion, per se, to continue the
Mm.
analogy.
Yeah, that's yeah, that actually sounds like an interesting movie.
That was fire, dude.
I
So
always, of
good.
course, hear references of red pill, blue pill, never
Hmm.
know what it meant. Always use my context clues, but
Hmm.
you never get the full gratification of knowing what is actually going on. It's kind of like when
Yeah.
somebody's talking about a story with somebody else, and that
Hmm.
those two people were actually there, but you weren't there. And so you're
Hmm.
trying to like listen in,
Hmm.
and it's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not
Pick
really.
up little clues here and there. Yeah, so it's one of the transitory scenes in the first movie, pretty early on in the movie, probably within the first 30 minutes.
Okay.
Neo, that's Keanu Reeves' main character.
Okay.
Um, and so not with providing like too much context, I don't want to ruin the beginning of the movie for you. But essentially he's given an option to take a blue pill or a red pill.
Mm,
Because he'd already been like having these things where he was kind of getting a gaze into the matrix and kind of seeing what was really going on. And
mm,
so he gets visited by fuck, what's his name? Basically by a guy and a girl. I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible. By a guy and a girl who understand the matrix, who understand like what's actually going on, and their mission is to um basically save the real world. And it's, man, it's so hard to just explain the concept of the movie. But I would just speak of this scene. I won't provide too much context. But he's given a choice to take a red pill or a blue pill. The blue pill, if you take the blue pill, nothing changes. You'll just continue to go about your life in the normal world, and
okay.
you know you'll just be a normal person. If he takes the red pill, then he's basically awakened and he's seeing into what's really going on and how the quote unquote real world is just a facade, and you have all this real shit, like these real problems and the actual real world that's going on that needs to be saved, that needs to be
Mm,
vindicated.
mm,
And so if you take the red pill, you will then go on an exploration um, into the matrix and into solving the actual problems and saving the actual world, um, instead of just, again, just being in the rat race of the common people.
I
It's
see.
yeah, but you gotta watch it. I'm really upset at myself because I've seen that movie so many times and it's one of my favorite movies. It has been a while and I'm not painting a really good picture for you. Um, but definitely watch it. Definitely watch it. So we might even have to start on the scene a little bit later, and yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. No,
Beautiful
I
movie.
definitely am gonna watch it because um, you know, love a good movie and I always feel left out for not watching classics. So I'm gonna watch it. Because my lady actually, I'm pretty sure she always tells me this that she was named after the actor in that movie.
Yana.
Like even though it's Keanu, like she tells me that. Yeah, I don't know if
Huh.
she's actually being serious, but
Huh.
she
Interesting.
tells me that she says that she was named after that dude, Keanu Reeves. So, I'm
That's
sure
funny.
she's seen it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to tap in,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's a
funny.
really, really, really good movie. Really
Nvidia.
good movie. Yeah, man. So after it's been watching the charts over the last couple of minutes, and
Mm,
definitely some movement, particularly from the dollar, bullish move from the dollar, which is promising to see. Haven't executed any positions in the last, probably 30 minutes or so.
yeah, me neither.
Um, opportunities there, but I'm sitting a little over 4% on the day. Good decent execution. So
No.
yeah, I'll keep just continue to observe. What I wanted to touch on is, as we got a couple minutes here, and Jason will appreciate this, but I'm gonna I was gonna say a phrase that was wouldn't have fit. But as far as my magic wand story goes, I have decided I'm gonna make an entire YouTube video on this magic wand story. Because I think it's just so profound, and the intentional thought into thinking about this, um, it really kind of is like an ethical situation. It really comes down to ethics in a way. I think it touches on just so many profound things within you as a person.
Mm,
Um, given no constraints, all the money in the world, you have everything you could possibly want, possibly need. What do you do as a human being living on Earth?
mm,
What do you do? Um, and so I have a list here, um, and I'm just gonna touch on the fine points. This is something I'm gonna record over the weekend, and release early next week. But I love this. So, a global healthcare revolution,
mm.
educational transformation, environmental restoration, economic restoration, restructuring, excuse me, global collaboration, personal growth movement, and evolution of humanity. So those are kind of my six, my seven, excuse me, kind of points there. And
Mm.
I'll kind of work through I have a couple of bullets here that I wrote down for each one of these respectively. Um, Again, I think it touches on the Magic Wand story touches on something so profound, and uh,
Yeah,
yeah, it definitely garners a whole video, in itself.
yeah.
But some
No, I
something, I
definitely love that.
did a couple of I did three different meditations. Did one a little bit longer one, did 1 minute. Then the other two were about 10-minute little meditations in which I was thinking about these things. And then a little bit of research as well, just to kind of put some of these things together. But yeah,
Mm,
I got some good stuff for us. I mean, again, it's still kind of doing some thinking, kind of recalibrating this because this magic wand story again. Why it is so profound because, dude, I want to create the magic wand. God damn it, I want to do
yeah,
these things. So in
Yeah,
taking
we
off
have
the
it.
blinders and taking off the blinders of not having resources and money, taking off the blinders, what does that look like? Okay, then how can I essentially reverse engineer this, create my own goddamn magic wand, and do everything I wanted to do in the fucking first place?
Yeah.
So, so yeah, man, I
Facts.
like this a lot. This is
Yeah.
something I'm gonna start putting together. This
Yeah.
should definitely be one of my favorite pieces all time. I love this. Shout out Jason.
Yeah. No, I love what that does to the hamster wheel of thoughts, creativity juices. Uh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. Most
yeah,
definitely.
I want to spend some time thinking about that. Just I want to take care of this short term, medium term, long term plan is what I'm thinking about right now, and just um
Mm-hmm.
building out. I want to secure. So by next year, I want to have at least three other besides trading investments I'm actively in. Um, so you know,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about the belly dumps last time. Like, um, so for me to get there, I kind of know if I the business funding route's a great route I want to take, and that would actually help that. So that's just one thought I had, and then real estate being the other one. But I want to secure three, and then once I'm done with that, in my short term, medium term, long term, I may get into really developing that because I like that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I like what that does. That gets me thinking about because like you said the other day, the Bloom Academy. Like I've always wanted to like have our own school now it's our own school, but I've always had that thought of making a school, right? And really
Mm-hmm.
controlling that. You spend so much time at school from the point of when you first start going, we can just say first grade all the way through the 12th grade. So much time you spend at school.
Mm-hmm.
um, so that I think kids are definitely being impacted there in a number of different ways. But as a excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
I am in a buy right now on USD JPY. About let me see, what is that? Just around 40-ish pips, roughly right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even more than that. Um, looking to take it to about 146 ish. Um,
Mm-hmm.
So let me slide that to about 146-ish. We just got that break of that 1 hour decision making level from the dollar on our DXY, um, which is actually a really key level that it was having a hard time as we're seeing. And so even so, this is good. Seeing this on a lower time frame, right? We can look at this like, all right, we just got our break, even on our 1 minute. Could think that this is going to potentially keep going. Then we look
Mm-hmm.
on this 1 hour and we actually see that this is an area where it it's has a hard time moving through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, MACD though supporting potentially us
Mm-hmm.
moving and continuing that bullish push here. Uh, Given that it did move bullish, corrected on our MACD, but no type of correction on price, just accumulation. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll probably slide my stop loss up on this trade just to secure some profit if it does try to turn
Okay.
around. But speaking to what you said earlier about USD JPY, I want to hold this one and let it move, let the volume of the market work itself out more
Mm-hmm.
than I have been. So
Mm-hmm. And I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, no, not in any current positions. I am. 1550 on the day, right at 6.1% on the day. Good day, good day. Felt good seeing the markets today. After two choppy days earlier this week, still ended in profit on both days. Nothing significant. I think I combined for like 3% between Tuesday and Wednesday. So yeah, it feels good to have a nice day today. Really good movement, really good macro movement from the macros, institute from the macros today. But yeah, gonna log and back test these positions, particularly the ones in which that weren't successful. I want to look at that choppy market. That was Tuesday and Wednesday. But yeah, man, another good week of growth, another good week of calls. Um, really big announcements and things starting to release coming next week. So
Mm.
yeah, man, it's only gonna get bigger and bigger and uh, funner and funner from here.
Oh yeah. Yes, sir. So what's going on for the rest of today? I don't think there's any news for the rest of today. Tomorrow, of course, Friday. Pretty heavy dose of news tomorrow. But we know
Mhm.
Fridays, it's always funny that I think Fridays get heavy hitters with news because I feel like it always does the exact opposite of what it's supposed to do with news. Don't quote me on that. Just back test it. I kid you not. So I won't be trading tomorrow, but I will be analyzing news as far as I want to see the results of how they come out. But everything is going to impact the market that I'm looking at right now. PCE, personal consumption expenditures, just gonna uh, correlate to what me and Q have talked about time and time again when it comes to Ray Dalio and the one person's spend is another person's income leading to that economic cycle. That's what that's going to lead to. Personal income, same thing. Goods trades balance. So consensus there is that the goods trades balance is slightly improving, meaning that exports are growing and imports are decreasing, um, or exports aren't growing but imports are decreasing. So that balance is starting to get better. That would support the dollar, so we would want to see the dollar move bullish there. Uh, Consumer sentiment, which is also going to blend with the PCE. Um, because that's gonna, just correlate to how people feel about the economy, their finances, the politics, right? Stuff like that. So we'll want to see their consensus for that is also improving. And so we need to just be on the lookout for how those could affect the market. But
Yeah,
I won't be looking to execute on this movement from these folders until Monday. Um, So that's how I'll approach my execution from the analysis of the macros. Ja-
yeah. That part, money. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and end
Yeah,
today's live
close it
call.
off.
Appreciate everybody stopping in on this morning's call. Um, but yeah, Marcus, I'll hit you in a bit. We'll
Bet.
get some things done today.
Yes,
And of
sir.
course, yeah, we'll get some stuff in the Discord as well. With that,
Yep.
I'm gonna peace off. Get a
Jason,
little
appreciate you
breakfast, get a
hopping
little
on.
coffee.
Yep.
Jason, appreciate you, sir.
Got the balloons going. Happy birthday to you.
Jason
Thing
on
you
mute.
do later.
But our